HarperCollins presents The Tourist. What goes on tour stays on tour. Until now. By Phil Tufnell. Read by Rupert Farley. To Mum and Dad, without whom I'd never have got anywhere. Introduction. I've been on more than a few adventures in my life. As an England cricketer, I went on 8 of the best holidays anyone could ever have. Not only that, but I did so alongside a whole bucket load of my heroes. I know people will say they weren't holidays, they were professional cricket tours. And they're right. Sort of. While I know there was work to be done on those trips, it would be disingenuous to suggest there wasn't a whole lot of fun and excitement to go with it. You only get one life, and if I was lucky enough for the world to be laid out in front of me, I was only going to enjoy it. Equally, when I retired, no way was I going to become a shrinking violet and start unfolding a picnic table in a lay-by on the A45. Even now, more than 20 years since I last played for England, it's my touring tales that people ask me about more than anything. The reason for that is I had, or more accurately was given, a reputation for being a bit of a loose cannon. Some people went further and said I was a bad tourist, in which case it's pretty remarkable that I should have spent pretty much the entirety of 90s winters jetting around the world playing for my country. Maybe there's a conclusion to be drawn there, that actually I was a very good tourist. OK, there was the occasional bit of tomfoolery. Yes, there was that one time at the signing day before we departed Heathrow when I autographed several bats, T-shirts and team sheets as Mickey Mouse. If you have one of those bats, apologies. Although, to be fair, so many different faces played for England at that time that it wasn't totally inconceivable that Mickey might have got a run out. But all in all, I was a pretty decent person to have along, happy to be in the thick of the action and always on hand to make a complete and utter fool of myself. There'll always be people who'd prefer a more sedate presence, Judith Chalmers perhaps, or Fiona Bruce, as a travel companion. But if you prefer someone who might decide to zip-wire down a suburban Melbourne clothesline at 3 a.m, then I'm your man. Or was. My days of zip-wiring down clotheslines are long gone. These days I see a clothesline and wonder if I've got time to air my cardigan before the rain comes on. Similarly, while I'm still not averse to the occasional blowout, my present-day travelling companions tend to be a little quieter than Alan Lamb and Ian Botham. I like people who are a calming influence, people who aren't going to persuade me that helping a grand piano down a flight of stairs is a good idea, and that putting a shark in the captain's bed will be seen by all concerned as a jolly good jape. These days, I do the majority of my travelling with my lovely wife, Dawn. Not only is she the best company I could ever have, but she constantly reminds me that messing about with grand pianos will definitely put my back out. Me and Dawn have always enjoyed a getaway. There's a big wide world out there, Europe, Africa, the Isle of Man, and we've been lucky enough to see quite a lot of it. But recently, we've mainly been seeing the interior of Tufnell Towers. Poor old Dawn has had a hip operation, and so I've been looking after her. To be honest, I thought it would be the other way round, that I'd be the first one to have my hips pawed at and mauled in an operating theatre. For someone known for his love of sleeping, I've spent far too much time on my feet, most of it on the cricket pitch. A lesser, but still sizable percentage stood at the bar afterwards, and a small, but nevertheless significant amount running away from Graham Gooch. Then there was my run-up. OK, rarely was I mistaken for Dennis Lilly, but doing that little hop, skip and a jump a few hundred times a day is bound to lead to wear and tear. After a long day in the field,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?